Hey guys, Michael from COPPERVSGLASS. Now everyone knows that GoPros are pretty much the best action camera, but they also come with a pretty hefty price tag. So when I got the chance to look at the Onreal mini action camera, which is only $69.99 here in the UK, I jumped at the opportunity to have a look to see if a budget action camera can actually do the job. Now inside the actual packaging itself you get some really awesome accessories, the first one here being a reusable sticky pad, and this thing is extremely grippy. You can pretty much put it anywhere, as you'll see later on in the video. You also got a belt clip as well, and all of these accessories are really handy to use with the Onreal, but they're not necessarily compatible with other devices like the wide accessories that you get with a GoPro, which is a little bit of a shame. It would have been good to have some sort of mounting solution or adapter to get that. You've also got a standard suction cup as well, and again it does an extremely good job because the camera itself is so light. You don't really have to worry about using things like this. It's not really going to go anywhere. Last up then, you also have a magnetic attachment, and again this is really awesome for if you do want to use it when you are out and about. You can put it on, for instance, the side of a car or on a building, for example, to get a really awesome and unique shot, which is quite good. And again, something that I haven't really seen with a GoPro is an attachment like this that uses magnets. And then lastly, you do have a micro USB to standard USB to actually charge the device itself. Now if you thought that the GoPro session camera was small, you're going to be blown away by the Onreal. It's 42 by 42 and is only 20mm thick with a weight of only 25 grams. So this thing is extremely light, and around the actual device itself you've got a couple of buttons here to change modes between photo and video, and also a mode to turn on and off the device and connect it to the Wi-Fi. You've got the micro USB and also a mini SD card slot on the bottom as well, and just in general it's a really nice package. Now I'm a big fan of the design here. As you can see, it's got a really nice soft touch plastic around the edges and a really nice dome effect with a really awesome gloss that kind of counteracts the matte finish of the rest of the body. Now, is it necessarily the best design? Well, not necessarily, because of the shape. Now, it is completely symmetrical, so you do have to do a bit of fiddling when you start recording to see which way is up, which way is down, and the back is also plastic, so you are going to find plenty of scratches, and even from my limited use and also when it arrived in the packaging, it was quite scratched on the back, as you can see here. But saying that though, it is still well built and is still one of the lightest and smallest action cameras that I've personally used. Now there's a really awesome free application to accompany this camera called NeoMe, and as you can see here, it's got a really simple, really nice interface. Now if you're wondering how I'm getting this really awesome top-down view, well that's just using the standard sticky pad that I mentioned earlier. So yeah, it can pretty much go anywhere and gives a really awesome view, as you can see here. Now there is a bit of lag in terms of feedback between what the camera sees and also what the application sees, but if you put it into landscape mode you've got a really awesome view, and one trick that I would definitely do is sticking the camera to the back of your phone. That way you're basically just using it like you would your mobile phone. You can get some really awesome handheld stabilization, and it's a really great way to do it instead of holding the camera separately to the actual monitor itself. So down the bottom here are the three main modes, the first one being the photo mode, and again you can see how it switches over and it gives you an even wider angle, as you can see just here, which looks extremely awesome. They've also got some filters down on the bottom right hand side as well, so if you want to go black and white, vivid, or just change it up slightly by using one of these built-in filters, then you've got the option to do so, which is a really great addition. Now camera mode is just the standard wide angle lens that you're going to get here, and you've also got a time-lapse mode and also a live share feature. In terms of these settings, you've got options here for video resolution, so you can go anywhere from VGA all the way up to 1080p, which is really great. You've got recording time, so again, if you want to have a really long or short recording time, you've got the option, and also the time-lapse interval. You've also got the picture resolution, which goes all the way up to 8 megapixels, and you've also got some options for formatting the SD card, HDR, time-lapse features, wide-angle lens features as well. So it's a really full-featured application, which is something that I didn't necessarily expect with such a cheap action camera, and also the fact that it is completely free of charge. But if you're anything like me when it comes to anything related to a video camera review or action camera review, you want to see exactly how the pictures and video look. Well, what I've done is I've got a sample here of a load of different pictures that I've taken and also some video as well to see exactly how good this action camera is. Now keep in mind guys, that at the time of this recording it is reduced down to $69.99, so again take that into account when you're looking at these samples, but spoiler alert, I was pleasantly surprised. So starting off with the picture quality now, and as you can see the pictures themselves are extremely vivid and also can get quite detailed. Now being an action camera, you're nowhere near going to get any sort of depth of field that you're going to get with other cameras, but everything's in focus, everything looks quite sharp, and again in terms of the 8 megapixel resolution, if you do want to pixel peep or crop in a little bit, then you've got the option to do so. Now some of the highlights do definitely get blown out in some pictures, as you can see here, and also just in general the highlights themselves do clip quite a lot, but in terms of the colours, the vividness, and just in general the overall picture quality, I was actually pleasantly surprised. Now, is it the best action camera video or photo that you can get? Well, not necessarily, but again, for the price and what you're paying for, and also the form factor, you can't really go wrong. In terms of details, as you can see here with the flags, it does look really awesome, but it does also have quite a cool tone to it which you can adjust in post. Now comparing the photos here from the camera to the Galaxy S7 Edge, as you can see here the S7 Edge is a lot smoother and a lot crisper, whereas obviously you get the wide angle lens from the action camera. Now you can get lens attachments for the Galaxy S7, but to have it built into the camera is really awesome to start with. And then we get into the video quality, and this for me is where the Unreal is not necessarily the best. Now as you can see here, the color shift can be quite vibrant and quite a change, so make sure that you're getting the right kind of composition that you need for the video before you start recording. In terms of dynamic range and lighting, it does a pretty good job. As you can see here, going into the shadows and then coming back out into the light, it does quite a good job in terms of keeping the highlights, keeping the shadows, and it doesn't really have that oversaturated view that you get with some action cameras. Now in terms of the video stabilization, that I think is where this camera gets let down massively. With something like a GoPro Hero 5 you get some really awesome stabilization, but keep in mind that camera is going to be 3 or 4 times as much as we're looking at here, and if you get a good grip, then again you can see here we've got some nice pans and it doesn't really look too jittery. Now again, the trick that I used here was to actually just to attach the action camera to my smartphone, to basically use it just as a giant monitor to see exactly what I was seeing at any one time. Now there is some lag in terms of the application compared to what you see on screen, but that's kind of expected when it's using the Wi-Fi and things, but overall I thought that it had done a pretty good job. Now again guys, keep in mind the price of this action camera, $69.99 at the moment, and the regular price is just over £100 as well. Now as we can see here from this shot, you've got the wide angle lens. It is a little bit cooler, but switching over to my Galaxy S7 Edge, you can see that the video quality in my opinion is way better, although you are going to get that tighter field of view, but you've got 4K video, a load of different frame rates on smartphones as well, so I don't necessarily think it's going to compete. However, in terms of where you can put the action camera and different scenarios you can use it in, it definitely wins in that situation. So overall guys, I was pleasantly surprised with the Unreal action camera. Now is it the best video quality that you're going to get? Well, no, that is still going to go to the GoPros out there and Sony action cameras, but in general, if you're thinking about it in terms of price compared to quality, you definitely can't go wrong. Now the video quality itself is really good, the colors are really nice, dynamic range isn't too bad, but sometimes the highlights do get a little bit blown out and the video stabilization could definitely be a bit better. In terms of photo quality, this I think is where it shines. If you do get the right lighting, it's not really necessarily too bright, you're not going to get that sun, that glare, and just in general the over highlights, it's a really good camera for those wide action and those wide angle situations that you're going to find yourself in. Now this is going to be linked in the description down below, so if you guys want to pick one up for yourself then definitely do so, and if you've got any questions about this camera or just in general anything else, hit me up in the comments section or on Twitter at COPPERVSGLASS. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up down below, and if you've got any other cheap action cameras or anything else you want me to review on the channel, then again let me know in the comments. If you want some more great content in the future, don't forget to subscribe. I'm Michael from COPPERVSGLASS, and I will catch you guys in the next video. And don't forget guys, if you want to be one of the first people to see this video or future videos, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell to get notified anytime I post a new video.